Namaste, Galactic Family. Welcome back to my channel, IndigoAngel. Welcome if you are new, and if you are returning, don't forget to hit that notifications bell so you can continue to receive my messages, and comment on this video and share this video so others can find out about my work. And today we're going to go ahead and do a Pleiadian Starseed origin reading, as I always seem to feel the Pleiadian radial encryption, this celestial energy signature, come through the grids, activate through the radial templates in the body, always around Valentine's Day. I do feel that this is a fifth dimensional star system in terms of the planetary universal tree of life, also in the biological universal trees of life, that the Pleiadian template does activate around the fifth dimensional sphere. It embodies this sphere, this realm, this world, this gateway, this access point. It comes through this heart consciousness, this heart frequency, because they are the star of fire. They are the star of spirit purification. They're very life-sustaining. They have a lot of independence, but this is also the star of purpose and success, and the power to worship, the power to achieve many things in life. And it does very much concern the heart chakra the most, I feel, out of all other star systems, that at least within a collective field of reality, running reality fields and intelligences, that the Pleiadians host this fifth dimensional density field with these running reality fields the most. And so as we get closer to Valentine's Day, I've always felt this encryption really come through. Also could be due to the fact that we have 6 planetary alignments at the moment within Aquarius. I know at some point we were supposed to have 7, but right now we have the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn, all between 6 and 22 degrees of Aquarius. So we're really connected to that Pegnusian grid at this time as well, that the planetary overlays of the Pegnusian grid are highly activated at this time. Now, what I've been picking up on as I have been receiving these Pleiadian transmissions through this major Aquarian alignment is that there is this acceleration into the time of Aquarius. Okay, so a lot of the things that were gripping around the necks of the human beings in terms of stress and social anxieties and viral anxieties and all of the poly systems that were running, the politics, the polarity fields that are running, that there's going to be much more of a relief here because of this alignment, because of this Pleiadian infusion, and because there's also this Lemurian grid that is awakening at this time. So more and more are awakening to the perception of the Lemurian Akashic fields, the Lemurian timelines. More people are integrating the Lemurian monadic structure from the collective body at this time, as a lot of this memory infuses the old equatorial codes of Lemuria that are running off of a different pull tilt degree within the planet. So many are aligning to this, as many are going angular in their biological bioenergetic field at this time, because what happens is when more dormant structures come alive in the energy field, that one begins to not only be able to travel through their Merkaba structures, but they also begin to turn into different angular tilts and start to recognize that there are more structures within the energy field that align to different planetary structures within the grids, okay? And that Lemurian network is on that angular tilt. And so I've been receiving a lot of messages through this tilt that's coming online, this Lemurian grid infusion that really came through most predominantly at that winter solstice. But then we had so many other planetary systems come through and kind of give a collective ego death, so to speak, and take many people into decoding more of those darker, more dormant more denied and rejected portions of that field had to come up to clear before we could start to see the access point to the Lemurian field. So many went through that at that time, but now we're getting to embrace more of those Lemurian Akashic fields as they're coming through, like I said, this expansion into this Aquarian timeline and this Aquarian light of revelation, which is very healing, very grounding, and very organic at this time. So many may be feeling that come through. And what I have been noticing and picking up in terms of this radial signature the most is that there is a major hybridization within Pleiades. And I have done several ascension readings with Pleiades that I have really dived into the history of Pleiades, all of their hybridizations. They're hybridized with Lyra, Sirius, Procyon, Orion, Mintaka. They're considered Tarasean starseeds. They are a part of the Guardian Alliance. They are part of the Galactic Federation that's embodied here now as the first generation of Galactic Federations that are here on Earth. And they essentially have been hybridized with several different star systems, even Altair, and also Draconian, Nibiruan, and Reptilian. So there's a broad spectrum of Pleiadians incarnated here on the planet, but there's one hybridization that hasn't really come up so much that I've really kind of tuned myself into, given the last cosmic grid update that I just put out about the Hydra starseed grid. So if you, it's called the original creation grid. So if you haven't watched this cosmic grid update, I highly recommend you go watch this, as this will fill in some of the key points and pieces here of the point that I'm trying to make here, which is that I do sense and pick up on the fact that the Pleiadians are highly hybridized with Hydra. And some ways that you can kind of see that is that the Pleiadian starseeds are the original divine galactic nation or soul group that was a part of the greater human seedings within the Lemurian root race. And when you really start to dive into Lemuria and the interconnecting land bridges that bridge together the continents that was Lemuria, such as the remaining continents that are existing now, such as India, Australia, Mesoamerica, Madagascar, Hawaii, parts of Peru, and South America, right? These particular continents were bridged together through land bridges. That was the continent of Mu, or what some call what was once the supercontinent Pangaea and Gondwana, and also Kumari Kandam. And these land bridges, like I said, brought forth Mu and the 7 ancient races of Lemuria to life. Now, these 7 ancient races were primarily Pleiadian starseeds. So that does start to dive into those pre-ancient civilizations that were key-coded to this time according to the landmass extenuations and grid networks that were running during that time of Lemuria that were key-coded to those 7 ancient races. Now, those ancient races came from the Mayans. They also came from India. They also came from Australia. And these are the ancient primordial civilizations that were heavily encoded with Pleiadian star signatures. Okay, and all of these ancient races were serpent cults. They were serpent worshippers. Okay, and so this really does tie in the hybridization of the serpent mythology and the Hydra constellation. So I want to go so far to say that there is a fundamental collective portion of the Pleiadian identity that is highly hybridized with serpent. Okay, and so you can see this through the ancient snake cults of the Nagas and the Anunnagi. And you can really fundamentally see this when you really look at the Pleiadian Stargate location on the Earth, Machu Picchu in Peru. This entire Stargate site is encoded with serpent temples, serpent statues, serpent stones, serpent mounts, that the Pleiadian Stargate itself is highly a serpent location, and that this energy signature interfuses with this Stargate site. Okay, so it could be that the Hydras were a mother star race to the Pleiadians also as well, that the Hydras actually maybe were the original progenitor races of the Pleiadians. So I'm going to go so far to say that. Now, not all Pleiadians are going to agree with me with that, I guess, association of constellations, but the information that I've been bringing forth allows me to come to see that Hydra may have been the star race that was the original progenitor races of the Pleiadians, given that all of the locations on Earth where the serpent mythology is expressed the most comes through that Pleiadian template. Okay, and that applies to India. It also applies to Australia and Uluru, which is considered a mother art gate site. One of the main worships there is the rainbow serpent. Okay, and so there is this constant correlation throughout history between Pleiades and Hydra. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I probably will make a follow-up video to this, as I know this may throw a wrench in the Pleiadian Stargate and in the Pleiadian Starseeds perception of this. But, you know, you really can truly see it. Australians have some of the most extensive creation stories of the Pleiades. And what do they worship? They worship, like I said, that rainbow serpent. And so all of these migrations that took place with the original seedings of the original human grail lines over 65,000 plus years ago, the oldest existing starseed origins are this Lemurian human root race, and the Hydra current is very fluent within this. And it's interesting too, because if you look at this type of culture of the Lemurian race, these were matriarchal pagan cultures. Matriarchal pagan cultures. Well, what defines that even more when you really think about that, right? Hydra represents this matriarchal pagan culture. Hydra is the demonization of the feminine, and this is expressed through all ages, all human civilization, where the divine feminine and lunar qualities were instinctually acknowledged as a part of daily life and calendar systems within the Lemurian root race, as comes forth within the Pleiadians. So this is very much very similar to the originality of the Hydra template. So I know some of you can kind of see the connections that I'm making here today. I really felt it was important to put this out here in this Pleiadian Starseed Ascension reading today. But let's just kind of jump into some of the qualities of the Pleiadians here today. So the Pleiadians are humanitarians. They're nurturing, they're healing, they're spiritual guides. They're helping wake up humanity. They're powerful energy workers. They have strong relationships with sex and sensuality. They're highly sensitive, psychic, empathic. They love sharing. They love pleasing others. And the Pleiadian mission is to operate as spirit guides to assist with human spiritual evolution. And another interesting connection with them, again, to Hydra, I'm going to make one more point about this, is that Pleiadians have been known to be highly androgynous and having a very powerful and masculine feminine energy. Okay, so if you again tie into those serpent cults and the serpent mythologies, that this androgynous type energy truly comes from the serpent aspect. That if you tie this deeper into Lemuria in those serpent cults, and you dive right into India, which is one of the remaining connecting points to Lemuria, right at that tip of India, that they honored these androgynous, hermaphrodite, four-armed beings as gods. So these were the original gods, were these androgynous beings, okay? So this has shifted into Pleiadian mythology, Pleiadian cosmology, Pleiadian metaphysical properties and expression here on this earth. And so there's like I said, this ties in much deeper and much deeper. And now that I've made this connection, again, like I said, I probably will be bringing more updates out about it. But having that said, oh, I also wanted to mention, guys, I have had a beautiful starseed sister. Her name is Natalie Sweet. She has designed me these beautiful little alien organites, and she has sent these to me. I actually ordered 3 of them, and she made 2 extra ones for me. She made the skulls extra here, but essentially when I opened the package, I was immediately drawn to the one that had malachite eyes, and I believe it's malachite citrine, and it's copper wrapped quartz point, copper aluminum, and brass key and heart key also. And it just so happens that the one that I was the most drawn to upon opening the package with the malachite eyes was the Pleiadian one. So I thought that it was just necessary to set these out for this Pleiadian reading. This one here, I do believe is the, this must be, this one must be Cygnus here. It has the lapis lazuli, amethyst, aquamarine, copper, aluminum, brass key, and copper wrapped with quartz. And this is Cygnus. And then we also have Arcturian as well. And this is shungite, watermelon, tourmaline, citrine, and copper wrapped quartz point, brass key, aluminum, triquetha key, and has a blue green crystal in there. And she said she doesn't know where it came from. But essentially, if you would like something like this, she goes by Orgonite Chick on Facebook. And I will leave links in the description to order some of these if they interest you. But yes, they are very healing, they're very grounding, they're very balancing, and they absorb a lot of toxic energy. They're good for EMF protection and any type of unnatural frequencies or incoherent frequencies or static electricity. They tend to neutralize that within the surrounding bioenergetic field of your energy field, and also within the room and those around you. So they're really good to have, and they do protect your light body field. And so I just thought those were adorable. I wanted to highlight them for this reading. Like I said, the Pleiadian one was very fitting for this reading today. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the Ascension reading for the Pleiadian Starseed. Again, I am really kind of tied up on the fact that I've made this hybridized connection from Hydra to Pleiades, which I do feel is very profound at this time. And it is almost profound enough, I would say, to actually move forward with doing a detailed update about it, as the connections are just blowing my mind at this time. Okay guys, so for this reading, we're going to be, the top row is the Kabbalistic Tarot. Okay, and the bottom row is the Tarot Nefertari, in case you were wondering. And so a lot of swords came out for this reading today. I am sensing there's a lot coming up that has to do with security, safety, trust. There is a lot of uncertainty on the mind at this time. And so there's a lot of swords. So, I mean, you're thinking about this a lot. There's a lot on the mind. There's a lot of stress at this time. There's a lot that's going on within relationships, within moving around, within opportunities that are presenting themselves. And you are just a little uncertain at this time. You have this really strong Queen of Swords energy where maybe you're not able to fully see the full perspective at this time. You're kind of questioning your decisions when it comes to relationships with the Three of Cups, that you're in situations at this time where you can possibly move forward in particular dynamics and particular arrangements when it comes to relationships, love, family, friends, that you're having a lot of opportunities arise to be able to do things at this time, but you're just not really sure. You're not able to see the full picture of what is going to manifest or play out. There are things that are in the way of you at this time that it's allowing you to have full visibility into whether this is something that's a good thing or not. So you are being more reserved at this time. You're kind of trying to rely on your intellect. And in some regard, I'm sensing that it's a difficult situation, that there is a level of absence in something that you're seeking or searching for in terms of your stability or your foundation. There is a feeling of mourning or grief, like you're almost feeling sorry for yourself for some of the choices that you have made to partake or to entangle in this, I want to say union or planned event. You feel a little bit of sadness. And you feel like you're being deprived of something that you really need to be able to feel like everything is a go-ahead. Okay, and so you're kind of working through a lot of this time, and it seems like there's a whole slew of things kind of going on at this time. Like I said, there's a lot of swords energy, and so you've kind of been in the thick of argument. There's been loss of trust with the people around you. You're also worried about things. You have the Five of Cups. You seem to be worried about your health. You seem to be worried about whether you're going to be able to get yourself together to be able to put health plans in action, whether it's that you need to get up and work out or you need to change your diet, but something feels immediate in your need to self-sacrifice to make these types of life changes. And so I see you stressed about this. I see you worried about this. It's taking away from your ability to relax. It's kind of a constant state of thought. It consumes a lot of your quantum. It consumes a lot of your energetic body. And this is a density that you're holding. I want to say that this is really over the heart chakra, the sacral chakra, the throat chakra, and also the third eye chakra, because it's almost like a full 7-dimensional chakra block where you feel blocked from source. You feel blocked from that miraculous healing energy that you really just need to kind of come through to at least boost you to the next level of confidence and self-reliance, that you are cared and taken care of in the spiritual form. You're looking for signals from spirit right now to essentially come forward and give you a sign that you are going to get there. You're needing a little encouragement at this time. And you're really, I see you asking spirit for this encouragement, particularly when it comes to certain health aspects. Also, I'm seeing that there are financial struggles, so you're a little bit worried about money at this time. Like there's been somewhat of a financial blow, and you're feeling this on all emotional levels. And so you're feeling that loss. You're feeling that woe me. You're feeling a lot of these more denser energies and vibrations at this time. What I'm sensing is you're really needing to get the body's vibration up. You're still recovering from over the winter solstice in these last couple months. Everything that's going on a collective field level you're tuning into as far as the collective grids and the collective reality fields that are running, that your energetic body is being somewhat consumed by collective dramas. Like I said, this is manifesting through poly-sensitive topics such as politics and the splitting of the timelines. And so that has affected your ability to fully recalibrate into those higher levels of ascension and getting your body's vibration up. So for right now, that it's necessary at this time to be taking things one day at a time, to really be relying on all of your tool bags, your tools that you have to essentially get that body's vibration up, focusing on self-love, self-care, all of these things that start to draw your attention back home, because right now there's a lot of consumption on the energy field. I'm feeling that the Pleiadians' life force energy is somewhat drained. They're looking for a release, for this to be lifted, and so that they can liberate themselves and also surrender to the things that are holding them down, the things that are keeping them weighted at this time. So the word surrender is coming up. I'm being guided to say. Also, we have the King of Wands and the Knight of Swords. So I'm sensing that the relationships within the masculine and feminine right now, within this particular Starseed Origin collective, is somewhat imbalanced, that it seems that you're seeking more of a spiritual king. So I'm speaking to feminines. It seems that you're seeking more of an enlightened masculine, an alpha masculine, and an alpha omega masculine. It doesn't matter what illumination of masculine that they essentially are, but you're looking for that healthy masculine. And so it seems like you're going back and forth in comparison between this healthy viewpoint of the masculine and then also maybe this more childish, immature version of the masculine. And so for the feminine Pleiadians, you're really deciding what you want, that there's no rush in terms of union, because there is this maturity in the conscious awakened Pleiadian starseed feminine, that you're not willing to rush. You're also willing to set boundaries, but you do have this guiding patience at this time, regardless of how you're feeling in other levels and layers of your life, whether that's worrying about the health or the finances, or even working through other types of entanglements that you may have at this time in terms of arrangements for plans that you have scheduled, whether you do or don't want to participate. You're still questioning other people's motives at this time, and you're still just working through the security and the foundation of what you do and don't want to participate in what is actually a hindrance to your reality at this time. Masculines, you Pleiadian Starseed masculines, you are really stepping into more of this healthy divine masculine status. You really are focused on achieving your goals within your spiritual identity. You're really trying to divert the ideas of judgment and power and order and authority, and you are trying to deliver a new concept or a new platform of what spiritual healthy masculine look like. So you are going through this transformational process that in turn infuses the grids and connects into the collective mind for this greater healing of this masculine identity. Again, still battling the childish, arrogant and ignorant, more immature aspects of the masculine. And so a lot of this is clearing. There's a lot of frustration within this that's clearing collectively. Pleiadians seem to be clearing this the most. And so it's a transformative process that's happening in the higher heart of the collective, and the Pleiadians representing that fifth dimensional sphere, that fifth dimensional template of the collective universal tree of life. They are transmuting a lot of this, and so a lot of this transformation will take place in the Pleiadian Starseed collective. And we also have the Four of Wands. So I see there's been a lot of transmissions to and from Andromeda as well. So there is this sense of futurism that's been coming through and is being implanted in the Pleiadian template as they work through a lot of the fifth dimensional frequencies of freedom of speech, freedom of the press, just freedoms in general. Freedoms in general is coming up for this Pleiadian template, as this sphere collectively seems to be pushing through the bulk of the 5D wars, and it's carrying most of these Christed distortions. So it's really the most human identified reality field, and it's most experienced by the human oversoul. So there's a lot of transparency here when it comes to this art of spiritual warfare that seems to be developed here in this Pleiadian collective. So like I said, again, a lot of the freedoms of expression and the freedoms of technology, the freedoms of information, and the freedoms of truth are coming up to be psychoanalyzed in this star collective collectively. Venus is coming up through this star system. There's a strong tie, the strong pull to Venus. Venus is strongly connected to Lemuria, again, unifying this collective running reality template from the past Akashic, the simultaneous Akashic field that's infusing into the star system. And so there are going to be a lot of reunions. You're going to be experiencing this reunion with your ancestral family, this reunion with spirit, the reunion with I want to say the royalties, the royals. I keep hearing royals, that the royals are reuniting within this star collective, and there's this sense of returning home. There's this sense of community. There may be more of these celebrations, and that's, I believe, what I'm sensing right here with this aspect, where I'm saying, like, you've made plans to go on, I want to say, like, spiritual retreats, or you've made plans to go on some type of spiritual trip that there's some uncertainty about. So I'm getting the message that's saying here that, yes, like, go through with this. Trust what the universe is guiding you to do at this time. Don't hold back in so much reservation. Your foundation, you will be taken care of. Believe in the successful achievement of this, and you're being asked to look at the desired outcome, okay? And focus on the positivity of this desired outcome, because your hard work and your determination, everything that you've been prepping and preparing for, this ties into your stability here, okay? And so I'm also getting confirmation. The Andromedans are saying yes. Yes, this is the time for you to be able to enjoy this aspect as the 3D, the relationships with the masculine and the feminine dynamics. They're still clearing a ton of gender distortions here. And so now just may not be the time for some of that the spiritual journey oversees and is what is necessary at this time to heal and repair the DNA, heal and repair the Akashic fields from the ancestral slip-ups from the time of Lemuria, that your quest at this time is needed for that. Okay, and then we have the Two of Swords. It's almost like you're going back and forth between your opposition, which is Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Libra. Okay, so there's this indecisiveness. You're feeling very indecisive at this time. You feel yourself argumenting with yourself in your own mind. You are kind of locked in a battle of being able to allow yourself this grace. And so there's not a lot of room right now for forgiveness. You're having a hard time forgiving. There are traumas and post-traumatic stress disorders is what I'm seeing keeps coming up, that there's this anxiety that is lurking in between your progression of moving forward into spiritual quests, and also your attachments to the masculine or to the feminine. And so you're teetering in this post-traumatic stress limbo. And so this is clearing for you. You're coming into the awareness of identifying that. This is expanding into the fractal electric field of your geometrics right now, and it's not allowing it to fully expand. So it's kind of collapsing at this time. And so, like I said, redirection back into the self-love, redirection, calling back home your energies right now, and just focusing on balance is very, very necessary for you at this time. You also have the Seven of Swords, so you feel betrayed. You feel like this stuff isn't going to be easy to clear, but you are working on being more resourceful. You're working on trying to outsmart even aspects of yourself. So you're almost having to play tricks on your own ego at this time to keep these aspects of your ego in submission. You're really conscious of your ego at this time. You feel like you've been humbled a lot over the last couple months, and so you're just getting back into humility and humility and vulnerability, allowing these playing fields of human connectivity to open back up for you. And again, there's also this Hydra energy, this hybridization that's coming through as well. So I'm sensing that you, as this Pleiadian Starseed, feel very called to the serpent energy, the serpent mythology, the regeneration of this energy, the slowing of a new skin, the ability to regenerate your life force energy. It's almost like, I believe it's Ananta Shesha, that is the king of the Nagas. This is the deity of the Nagas, and that how he works is that he can create the entire universe. He can create any universe, any world, when his Kundalini is flowing. But when his Kundalini retracts back, his entire world crumbles and destructs. And so you are teetering in between both of these two worlds at this time. And there is a lot on your shoulders at this time. Collectively, what you are working through within the collective fields, like I said, within the 5D wars, within the collective drama and transmissions of wars of freedom right now on many, many different connecting points, whether it's freedom of speech, all of these things, right? You're teetering in between collective dramas, creating your own world, falling back and being self-destructive with the health issues and things that you're really trying to focus and get a hold of. And also with the battles within the mind, going back and forth. So you're feeling very torn. You're feeling very polarized within your expansion of the 5D. And so you feel kind of trapped in the 4D platform right now, but truly, you're rising into ascension. You're rising into the higher 5D realms, and it's just a process of getting past your own limitations at this time, because you have so many things in the work for you right now. So like I said, push forward with the spiritual progression, whether that's just as simply as doing your own fire rituals or having your own ceremonies, or to continuing on that progression of going on those spiritual retreats, making that effort to come into communion with others and embark on that quest for some time, giving yourself permission to do this and letting yourself know that you are fundamentally supported by the universe. And it is your destiny at this time to follow through with this mission. Okay, beautiful Starseed Pleiadians, I hope you enjoyed the reading for this month. If you would like a Starseed origin reading, you can find me at IndigoAngel222.com, or you can follow join my Patreon, patreon.com/IndigoAngel, where I offer visualizations and meditations for higher consciousness expansion. And I hope everyone is doing well, and namaste.